everybody? Welcome to the Gospel of Two Wheels, where the coffee's hot, the bikes are sometimes in pieces, sometimes fast, and your comments are thankfully absolutely ridiculous. It is good to see you, Dave. Brayman, what is going down? How is Wyoming? I'm guessing it's cold and maybe snowy. It's snowy here. Quick announcements, cover up some business here. The Thursday night ride, guys, is 98% canceled tonight because it is snowy and wet and cold. The cold doesn't bother me, but the snowy and wet is no good in our Adobes. So, guys, I think we're going to have to shut her down. Stay tuned on Facebook and Instagram because if something changes, if it gets real sunny, which, you know, it's Western Colorado, it could. If it gets sunny, then we'll still go ride. But as of right now, going to shut that sucker down because I don't want to go get stuck in the mud. Sawyer Llewellyn, John Liddell, 5280 James, how is everybody doing today? Also, guys, I'm going to let more people get on here. We're climbing here. But I got a big announcement from Moto for all of you 23 and up KTM owners, not TPI 23, but you know what I mean. The new chassis, new tank stuff. I got an announcement I want to make. Kim Jackson, what's going down? How is Wyoming? Oh, your side of Wyoming. Dave's over near Cheyenne. You're out in the Rock Springs area. Tony Andrews, what is happening, my man? How's NTJ? I'm sure he's good. Yeah, it is great to see you guys all here. Weeby Racing's there. Woot woot from Michael Van de Sluis. Weeby, I think we actually might still have this bike all good to go by the first round. I don't know about the plastic situation, but I think the cylinder is going to be here in time, and it looks like I'm going to have time to get everything together. So, yeah, fingers crossed. We'll see. Either way, if I get the bike done, even if the plastics aren't ready, I'll bring it and give it to you guys, and guys can slap the plastics on. Zach Farcash, what's going down? Chad Bryan, Kelly Haggard. How do I say? Is it like Haggard, like Merle Haggard? Scott Willer, Bruce Kennedy, Jay Wild. What is up? It is yes, coffee this morning. It is like cold and snowy and gray and like all wintry out there, which we haven't had all winter, so it's good. We need it. Hopefully the snow dumps up in the mountains and gets that done. So, all right, we got enough people on here. It's past 7:30. I want to make an announcement real quick. I was on a FaceTime, Zoom, whatever, video conference with Moto yesterday, and I got to witness the working and awesomeness of the new fuel pickup for the 23 and up KTMs, the ones with the stupid pump design with the pump that sits up in the middle, doesn't get all the gas from the sides and all that problem, blah, 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 blah. They have been working their butts off and spending a ton of money on it. But it works. It's ready to rock and roll. It's not available yet because he's getting with a patent attorney. He's trying to get the thing patented so that he doesn't, produce it and then have someone steal it and lose. So, Josh Hartler, Texas, still hot and dusty, I bet. Lance Rudder, what's going on? So, yeah, I'm really excited. So, make sure you guys, if you have a newer KTM with that new style tank, please make sure you follow Moto on all his stuff. Make sure you pay attention to our socials. We will be blowing that up as soon as they're available. I'm getting one of the very first ones. I'm really excited about that. But his patent guy's not even letting that out yet. Like, he's like, nah, no prototypes out. Like, it's not really even a prototype anymore. It's just pre-production. Because they've been testing and testing and testing and testing for months and months and months now. So it's really exciting, guys, because that was one of the things, if you watched my video about that bike, the 100-hour like kind of review, it was one of the only things I really, really didn't like about that bike was the fuel tank issue was stupid. It seemed to work okay if you bounce along and it, whatever. But anyway, it's awesome. It's going to get all the gas out. It's going to be sweet. But yeah, you need one. It's really nice. Like, I got to see the whole thing, how it's installed, how it works. Anyway, it's super cool. I know, Zach, it sucks. The weather does suck, but it will be good. Kelly, cost. He said retail is going to be somewhere in the neighborhood of $300 something. So it's expensive, which is unfortunate. But when you see it, you'll know why it costs lots of money. Hey, there's my dad, Scott Spradling. Counter Shocks, what's happening, dude? How's you doing, Nathan? So yeah, it's gonna be a little over $300. Again, once you see it and experience it, you'll be like, well, yeah, that's worth the money. And the amount of time and effort they put into it, it's just part of the deal. It's really cool. There's a lot of really cool billet aluminum parts, and it's really ingenious. Real Delinquent, what's happening? Good to see you here. Yeah, so super excited about that, guys. Honestly, that's like the biggest development in those bikes for a long time. 5280 James, it does not include his high hour pump at that price, because that pump by itself is almost like $2 or something like that. Because the pump that's in these new bikes is not the same pump. It does, so unfortunately that one doesn't work. They're gonna have to. He's actually working with his pump manufacturer on getting a pump for these. It's got the high hour setup, but it's not. Anyway, it's not ready yet. So that the pump isn't ready yet. The part is, but they've, like I said, they've been testing the crap out of it. It's gonna be cool. Pimpin' ain't cheap, Eric. Absolutely, pimpin' ain't cheap. Zach, yes, I saw that you got rescheduled. We'll be good to go. And Bruce Kennedy, yes, you gotta love businesses like Taco Moto. Mike is a phenomenal guy. I feel actually super. I don't know what's the word. I'm very lucky to be involved in it to some degree. We've been talking back and forth about this for a long time. And I kind of helped him out with one of the things that is a problem with it, but that now is sorted out. So I feel good about that, and I feel very privileged. There you go. There's the word. That he gave me a call and wanted to show me and make sure I didn't have any questions about how it is installed, how it's put together, how it all works, and stuff like that. So anyway, I feel super privileged for that. I feel kind of special. I don't know that I'm that special of a guy, but I appreciate it. Guys, there's lots of you watching. Make sure you back out of the chat, hit the thumbs up, come back into the chat if you are watching. Well, unless you don't want to give us a thumbs up. If you don't want to give us a thumbs up, that's fine. I don't care. But if you're thinking to yourself, man, I like this dude and what he does, make sure you back out, give us a thumbs up. Today, wanted to touch on those things, which is awesome, and then also talk about the Gypsy Tales 500 and how much fun we had down there in Mesquite, Nevada. It was absolutely there you go. Here's my dad. From someone who is clueless, what exercises are best for dirt bikers in the off season? That's a great question, Dad. And actually, our enduro, what were we calling it? Anyway, our workout program that we've been doing with Don Funk has been perfect. Actually, I'll speak to that with the whole racing thing, because we've been working with Don for almost 2 months now, once a week. I actually went ahead and bought a membership to the Flex Rec so that I could work out, more than just once a week, because once a week isn't going to do it. But his program, his workouts are phenomenal. Basically building strength and endurance in like strength endurance, right? So power endurance, because riding a dirt bike in the rough stuff is a crazy sport, because it takes cardio endurance, it takes muscle endurance, it takes mental endurance. It's arguably one of the hardest things I've done. And I've done a lot of stuff. My dad knows. I've climbed very, very large mountains around the world. I've run marathons. I've done a lot of stuff. Raced bicycles. And racing a dirt bike at a relatively high level, and I'm not saying I'm fast like that high level, but like pushing hard high level, is arguably one of the hardest things I've done. But to speak to that, what we've been doing has worked, because we went down to Mesquite and we got on that track, and it was absolutely out of control how rough that track got. I knew it was going to. It was a 200 team entry plus like a 5 or 6 mile loop, which is short. And for 8 hours, it absolutely crushed that track. Like The motocross track actually stayed in pretty good shape. Some ruts developed in little sketchy sections, but generally it was pretty good because it's a motocross track. It's taken care of. Hard pack. But anyway, things the motocross track is good at holding up to that stuff. The off-road section was nuts, like absolutely nuts. Just like whoops, like if I was standing up, no joke, like chest deep, it was nuts. So yeah, it was crazy. And I was really happy that at the end of the race, because my son and I did a 2-man team, which was really hard because it was like 15-minute laps, 15 to 17-minute laps. Every 30-ish minutes, I had to get back on the stinking bike and get back out there and hammer out 2 more laps. And it was brutal. But the training I've been doing, I could hang on. I did slow down. I got slower for sure by the end of the day, but not as bad as I thought. And I felt way better than I thought I would. So it was really awesome. So yeah, make sure you stay tuned, guys, because we'll probably be doing some more of that. Like I haven't videoed any of that kind of in respect to Don, and he makes money doing this, training people. So, but I've talked to Don, and we might do some online stuff. So, like, stay tuned. I think it'd be pretty cool. When are you thinking the gas pickle will be on the market? He is shooting for. Let me tell you. He texted me telling me when. End of month announcement. So hopefully by the end of this month, end of March. So very soon. I like rowing. I have a Concept 2 rowing machine. It's great. Works everything. Yeah. Epic ride single track. Eric rides a single track. Yes. Rowing is very good, and that's been part of our thing. We've had a row machine as part of our deal. It's been awesome. My buddy's nephew and his friends won that. Dude, Bud, that's epic. Dude, it was so gnarly. Ride for life. Snowmobiling is the best exercise in the off season. Snowmobiling is super hard. I'm not into it personally. But snowmobiling is a very good off season. And we don't really have much of an off season here in Montrose. I mean, today we're not going to ride, but in another couple days you'll be able to go back out and ride. We never really get shut down for too long here on the Western Slope. Eric Chappelle, thanks. Good stuff. Thank you very much. So it was, the race was amazing. Gypsy Tales and Verb Moto did a very, very, very good job of dealing with that many people. There's over 700 entries, like individuals, like 200, it's like 212 or 210 teams was the total because they let some industry people in. They had a cutoff at 200, but it was anyway, a little over 200, 700 and some odd people out there as a 2-man team. There weren't a ton of us doing that, and it was brutal. The Ironman, oh, dude, those dudes were burly because there's a section that was like the most. So in practice, there's a sand section. There's a sand drag's probably 150, 200 yards long, and in practice, you could just come around the turn, wide up, down to the end, make the turn, no big deal. End of practice, still you could hammer down, but then at the end, the braking bumps were getting really, really bad going into the turn. By the time the mid-race came, it was chest deep whoops the whole way, and no way for me to go fast. Even the fast guys were slowing down in that. Some of the guys I'd seen out there were slowing down. It was nuts, absolutely nuts. Kim's talking more specifically riding the backcountry boondocking. Yeah, for snowmobiling is very good. Of course, snowcross would be really good too. Snowcross has got to be absolutely brutal because I know how hard motocross and supercross are on a body. I can't imagine moving a machine that big around. It would be nuts. But again, I'm not into snowmobiling. Just not into it. I live where I can ride my dirt bike all year on purpose. So. Gypsy Tales was awesome, guys. Highly recommended if you do it next year. It was a beatdown, so don't expect it to be just a fun day like out in the dirt. It's if you're taking it seriously at all, trying to go fast at all, it's an absolute beatdown. What else, guys? What else you guys want to talk about? I just wanted to touch on the Taco Moto fuel pickup thing because that is really cool. I'm very excited for Mike to have solved that problem. That's really super, super, super cool. Sorry guys, I have not been filming schlogs the last 2 weeks because of the racing and because of all the craziness going on. I have I'm filming this KX build, and then I've got 2 sets of suspension we're doing for the team, so it's gonna be good. Yeah, Bruce Kennedy, the chest deep whoops, and they're very close, not even a full bike length apart. So like, it's it's just so brutal, so brutal. What else you guys want to talk about dirt bike wise? I'm trying to think about anything else that's going on here. Oh, got to shoot out a huge thank you to all of my sponsors, Rocky Mountain ATV. Actually, Rocky Mountain ATV has been huge on this KX build. They've given us a ton of parts for free, which is huge. They also gave me a discount on some OEM stuff. I had to buy an OEM cylinder for the bike because it was junk. So they gave me a deep discount on that, which is really nice of them. And they're going to get it here quickly, so that's super cool. But yeah, massive thank you to those guys. Onyx Off-Road guys, if you don't have Onyx Off-Road, I do recommend it. You can try it for free for 7 days, and then you can, if you want to join, you can. If you use my link, you'll save 20%. It's in the description below, guys. Onyx, I used it out in Mesquite, even on the track, just to kind of keep track of how long the track was and all that stuff. It was, anyway, I love it. It's really good. Also really cool because it shows you private land. We used it when we went hiking Slot Canyons. It's just a super, super cool. Kim Jackson, have fun digging truck out and plowing. Yeah, we don't have that much snow, which is nice. Kelly Haggard, what is the word on the street for the 25? I haven't heard. 25 300s. My guess is I haven't really been paying attention because I've been so focused on the beta and everything else. But my guess is the 25 KTM 300s are not going to be much different. They're usually on kind of a 3-year schedule for like big updates. So this will be, the 25s will be the last year before they do some other bigger update, I'm guessing. So I haven't heard anything. And yeah, I haven't been looking either. Jay Wild, Hard Enduro Moab, I think it's going to be awesome. It is going to be awesome. I'm excited to compete in it. Once I get back from this Weeby race, I will be hammering down on practice. So actually, if you want to come out and practice with me, if you're in the area on the rock crawler trails over in the Dry Creek area, let me know, because it's going to be very much like that in Moab. It's a very similar terrain, very similar obstacles, things like that. Really good training. And my dad says, when's the next Weeby? Not this weekend, but the coming weekend. And Dad, let's get on the fly fishing trip. I want to make that. I got to get that on the schedule because I'm coming and we're doing it and it's going to be awesome. So maybe give me a call today. I love you. So yeah, next Weeby is this coming weekend. The following one is the next month in April. Bruce Kennedy, I am hoping to spend a few weeks in August out in your area to see 2 of my 3 children in Aurora. I will make it a point to stop in. Yes, Bruce, we are very far from Aurora. You probably know that, but yeah, come on over because Aurora sucks. It sucks. We call it Saudi Aurora. Would you put a progressive spring on the PDS shock? Yes. In any advantage, there's absolute advantage. I think they come with progressive springs on them now from the factory. 100% progressive spring. The reason is that without a linkage, the shock is not very progressive. Now, they've done a lot of work on the inside of those shocks to help make them progressive. They got a bottom. Anyway, I'm not going to go deep into it, but the progressive spring helps with the lack of linkage, because the linkage, what a linkage does, the whole reason we have linkages on bikes, the reason that, I don't know if Honda is the first people to come out with it, but they're up there, is that it provides, 50J James says Aurora sucks. It does. Provides a progressive action on that thing. So, and what that means, if you guys don't know, progressive, so as you take a shock and you squeeze it like this, what you want is you want this first part of the stroke to be nice and smooth and plush and quick and move easily. But as you get deeper into the stroke, you want it to stiffen up. You want it to get progressively stiffer. So the linkage, the way the linkage works with the ratios and the geometry and like the way that turns and moves as it compresses, that provides that progressive resistance. With a PDS, which is, what does that even mean? Progressive damping system is probably what that means, which the early ones were not. And the new ones are not that progressive. But they're bolted from the frame to the swing arm directly. There is no linkage. And so you struggle with that, trying to make that progressive. Now, KTM's done a good job on the internals and making them better. We, as a TBT and all the tuners, not just us, do a very good job of helping with that. And then the spring is one more piece of that puzzle. So yes, I definitely use progressive springs on all the PDS work that we do. And again, I'm pretty sure they come with a progressive spring. I'm talking about Aurora. Sweet, yeah. So yeah, Bruce, come on over. And yeah, Aurora is terrible. So if you guys don't know, Aurora is on the east side of Denver. Denver already sucks in my opinion, because there's too many people and it's just whatever. It's not my lovely little mountain town that I live in. I don't live in, like, I guess the western slope town. So Denver already kind of sucks, and then Aurora is just crappier and east and even suckier. How much do you charge to do crankshaft seals? Just seals on a two-stroke is probably going to be an hour and a half, so $150 labor and then parts. So, and on the right side you'll need the seals, but then you'll also need a clutch cover, gasket, and oil and things like that. So probably, depending on the price of the seals and stuff, between $200 and $250. YMBRX, Dave Brayman. I gotta ask my wife. I'm asking. Dave, text me the dates again because I honestly completely forgot. So I'm sorry. I want to do that. June. I know it's June. But that's another thing I got to get with my dad and like make the Pinedale thing happen, for sure. So, what else do you guys want to talk about, dirt bike wise? I'm going to shut this thing down right at 8 o'clock today. I got lots and lots and lots of work to do. Spring is here. Almost, look out there right now, but it's basically here. Zach will be back, by the way, in like 2 weeks. So excited to have him back. Richard has been awesome. I just love Zach to death. I can't wait to get him back. He's my favorite. Everybody's awesome. Me and my buddy heading to Moab April 2nd from Alberta, planning a day. Head your way. Come say hey. Right on, Tom McBride. Awesome. From Alberta. Right on. Moab's awesome. And I like it here better than Moab, just so you know. So when you come, you might like stray away from Moab's really cool for seeing sights, but it's been taken over by side-by-sides and things like that, so there's not a lot of cool single track over there unless you get to the Green River whitewash area. How the heck is Leandra these days? She seems to be hiding a bunch. She's great. She doesn't like being on the camera, Bruce. She never has. She's actually doing really well. They just got a new car. I mean, Zach's not back yet, but she just got a new to her car. Very excited about that. Chris Burns, what's up? She's doing great. Doing great. Really excited to have Zach back, obviously. John Liddell, how's the beta holding up? Very, very well. It's out of camera right now. It's doing really well. I've got 28 hours on it, so not a lot yet, but it's doing well. I like it a lot. I mean, I don't like it as much as KTM. We've all talked about that, but I do like the bike. I think it's a good bike. I think it's a good value for the money. I think if you really like harder stuff, I think it probably is a better bike than the KTM. Also, super excited. I will be testing a Moto's pipe on that soon. I got a hold of those guys. They're sending me one. I'm very excited. Cody Roberts, what's the youngest you would teach a kid how to use a clutch, generally speaking? That's a great question. As soon as they fit on a KX65. So, whenever my kids were 7 or 8, when they figured that out. So, because they went from a electric bike, the Osset, to little Charles bike, and then to a CRF 50, to then a KTM 52 stroke, and then as soon as they could fit on a KX65, they moved to KX65. They learned how to use a clutch, and you'd be amazed at how fast kids learn how to use a clutch. So do not discount the fact that the kids are sponges, and if they really want to do something, they will do it. It's awesome. Zach, he says he's nervous about doing crank seals. Do them, dude. You'll be fine. If you screw it up, like, if you're tapping them in like from the side with a socket or whatever, and you go too far, you cock it. Just get new seals. I mean, it costs you a little bit of money, but like, just do it until they're nice and flush and happy, and you'll be fine. So yeah, get the clutch. Get the kids on a clutch soon. Oh, Dan Malone, sign the petition for the Dolores River thing. Yes. Oh, Dan, do you have a link you could post here? That'd be cool. Oh, Kelly Haggard just bought a slacker from Moto. It's a great tool. I love it. She asked what my thoughts are. I don't know if I say she. I apologize. Are you a she or a he, Kelly? I know your name is Kelley. That's it. I love it. I love the slacker tool. It lives in my van usually. I love that freaking tool. Let's see. Stephen Becky Peterson, what's happening? There you go, Recluse. Bruce Kennedy, thank you for chiming in. Do not put a newer rider on a bike with a Recluse. 100% agree. I could not agree more with that. And I will go to my grave. I will fight you about that, because I don't care if you buy a Recluse as an adult who knows how to use. Kelly, thank you. Sorry for not knowing. If you're older, you've learned how to use a clutch, you want a Recluse because you like the non-stall, blah, blah, blah. Fine. I mean, I'll still give you a hard time, but whatever. Fine. They're amazing. The new ones are really, 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 really good. All that stuff. But a new rider needs to know how to use a clutch. Period. Like I said, that's a hill I'm willing to die on. Put the kid on a freaking bike. Teach him. I actually have a buddy who showed me some really cool techniques on teaching kids how to use clutches. Basically, I'll give you the quick version. Kid on bike idling. So make sure the bike idles 2 strokes. You got to make sure you get that dialed in, whatever. If it's 2 strokes, otherwise get a, like a CRF 80 has a clutch too. So, on the bike, idling, clutch in, put in gear. They're not allowed to turn the throttle. Not allowed to turn the throttle with the right hand. They can hold on to the handlebars, obviously. Not allowed to turn the throttle, and they got to figure out how to ease the clutch out slow enough that the bike will just move forward. Turn the idle up just enough that it won't die. But just do that, and they're, like I said, not allowed to touch the throttle. And they will figure that smoothness of the clutch out almost like, it's crazy how fast they sort that out, and then they're done. I mean, you'll have some stalls and things like that, but it's crazy how fast they are. Daniel Sykes, sweet, Mako 360, you're gonna be stoked. Okay, Dan Malone put a link. We got to protect the Dolores, so get in there, do that. And Rafe Brookman, that's a sweet name, Rafe. Did I change the gearing on the Betty? Yes. Right now I'm at a 1350. I'm probably going to end up for the hard enduro. I'm going to go to a 1248, which is just only a tiny bit lower than 1350, but more about shrinking the rear chain wheel or sprocket down to keep it out of the rocks. I know people are like, well, I've never had a problem. Whatever I can do to keep that freaking thing out of the rocks is good for me. Cycle Farm, busy at work, just stopping by to say appreciate you, keep up the good work. Thanks, man. I appreciate it, dude. I was thinking about the Recluse. Guess not anymore. No, Cody. Yeah, no. No. On a new rider. No, on the Recluse. And actually, I have a quick story I'll tell you about that. So Daniel Malone, drum brakes rule. Disconnect the throttle cable. There you go, dude named Eric. There you go. It's amazing. Like, I watched my kid, who he'd already kind of had an idea of how to use it, but he didn't know how to. We were at an arena cross, and he was on a 65. This is my older boy, and we were like, oh god, his clutch work was not good yet, but he wanted to race, so we went into the parking lot. My buddy was with me. He showed me that technique. He explained it to my kid, and in 10 minutes of in the parking lot before his first race. He was dialed, had a great start. Everything went well. So, yeah, kids are amazing. Don't think that they can't figure it out. They'll figure it out faster than most adults. And then adults, you need to figure it out too. Quick story about the recluse thing, though. Just a quick one. I've told this before. I had a father who had a kid on an 85. He's like, I want a recluse. I'm like, don't do it, dude. Just teach him how to use it. Anyway, he bought the recluse. He had me install it, which was nice of him. And I looked at him. I was like, dude, are you okay? Whatever. So gave him the recluse, and kid used it. Moved up to a 125, moved up to a 250, kept having to put recluse on it, right? Because, I couldn't ride without it. And then, it was probably a year after he'd been riding his 250 two-stroke. His dad comes in, he's like, Morgan, how do I get my kid to learn how to actually, use the clutch and pop wheelies? I'm like, there you go. I'm like, well, take the freaking recluse out of the bike, put a normal clutch back in the bike, and send him back out there. I don't know that they ever did. I think they kind of stopped riding. There's some other family issues that went on in there. But and I just laughed because I was like, yeah, man, if you just made the kid use a real clutch from the get-go, they would have had that dialed. And then if they, wanted to race endurocross or some, there's some disciplines where the recluse comes in real handy. So, Zach, I can't wait to see you too, man. Heading to Beach Valley in a few weeks. Do you have any Onyx maps to help guide us? Yes, Jeff. Send me an email, morgan@highland-cycles.com. I've got some loops out there on the Onyx that I can send you. Also, if you go to just www.highland-cycles.com and go to the free ebooks section, anyway, find that section. You'll see it in the menu. I have a Peach Valley guide that I think is pretty good. Amazed at how many adults for the first time I go too fast, twist the throttle the wrong way, and go whiskey. Yeah, Bruce, it is amazing. We watched a lot of fails at the house on YouTube because it's fun, and it's crazy how many people launch bikes into fences and things like that. How much of a disadvantage was the 2T at the Gypsy 500? It wasn't a disadvantage at all. It was a 4-stroke track for sure. A 4-stroke would have made it. I don't know about easier. It would have made it. You would have been faster, if you could hang on to it. The problem is that hanging on to a 450 for that long would have been brutal. So it was a 450 track, and if you're strong and badass, then the 450 would have been the way to go because of the deep sand. But my freaking KTM pulled its nose out of that sand like no big deal. All right, guys, Punk Rock Club, you guys are giving me the Punk Rock sign. Thank you so much. I have got to boogie. I love you people. I love you Punk Rock Club people the most. By the way, that's all the people who watch to the end of all my videos and then give us the Punk Rock sign in the comments. I love you guys the most. Thank you guys so much for joining me for all these YouTube videos. Sorry I've been slacking a little bit on content because I've just been busy with lots of things, but don't worry, lots of content is getting filmed. I got lots of plans. In fact, I got to make a list of all the stuff I got to film here. KDX is coming along. I haven't filmed that yet, but we'll get the linkage bearings all done and a rear tire on that thing soon, and then we'll move to the rest of the bike. It's gonna be awesome. Yeah, I love you guys. Get out, spread the gospel of two wheels. God bless all of you. Jesus loves you more than I do. So, and I love you a lot. So, you guys have a great day. I hope that what we're doing here is inspiring you guys to work on, but way more importantly, get out and ride. Dirt bikes!